This video is about the company Yilishen Group and the business model which it used and which ultimately led to its bankruptcy in 2007. Wang Fengyo, a Liaoning businessman, founded the Yilishen Group in 1999. He functioned as its chairman and chief executive officer the whole time the company was operating. He set up the Yilishen Group to make health products whose main ingredients were ants. In China, ants are believed to contain certain substances which aid longevity, sexual potency, and increase immunity to diseases. According to the company, the ants, when ground into a powder, would become an aphrodisiac, a kidney purifier, and general cure-all. Several months after the creation of the Yilishen Group, Fengyo started to attract hundreds of investors who were mainly farmers, but also poor, unemployed, and vulnerable factory workers and peasants. Fengyo was born as a poor farmer himself and so was successful at persuading such people to invest into his company. The investors were offered ant breeding program in which they were guaranteed a 30% to up to 60% return on their investment of 10,000 yuan, which is roughly $1,600. So how did it work? Investors basically received a box of ants which they had to take care of. The investors could not, under any circumstances, open the boxes and look inside as to avoid contamination. According to a list of instructions, which the investors received together with the box, the ants needed a spritz of water with white sugar or honey at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day. Also, they were supposed to be fed with cake and egg yolks every 3 to 5 days, and the box had to be kept indoors. Every 3 months, the company would come and pick up the grown ants. Investors were promised that once the ants matured, in other words died, which was about 14 months later, the Yilishen company would buy them back and pay the investors their investment plus profit, which made it roughly a 30% guaranteed gain, sometimes even more. Although this kind of investment model is not allowed to operate in China, Yilishen Group was given a license by the highest authorities, and the company was even awarded for its work from the Shenyang city government. Fengyo himself received the prestigious Model Businessman Award from the same authorities shortly before his arrest. Actually, the fact that the government openly supported Fengyo's business instilled trust in poor farmers and other investors who in turn blindly put their money into the scheme. The government also controlled media agencies, the New China News Agency, the CCTV, and the People's Daily, which broadcasted positive reports about the company. In mid-2007, the company started to crumble as sales decreased rapidly and investors' deposits were used as income. In November 2017, Yilishen was unable to pay profits to its investors, which led to riots and protests. Soon after that, the company's bankruptcy was announced. In November 2007, after the company was exposed as a Ponzi scheme, Fengyo was arrested and later that year sentenced to prison together with other companies' managers. Fengyo's arrest and confession were aired on television. He also admitted that he was responsible for the protests. All of Fengyo's belongings were confiscated and other managers had to face huge fines. One of the managers of the Yilishen Group, who was named Wang Zhendong, was found operating another similar scheme years later and was then sentenced to death. There was up to 1.3 million investors who fell for the scheme without any compensation. The investors did not receive help from the government and to this day have not been given back any money. This has led to several cases of suicides, which have been on several occasions discussed in the Chinese media. However, any online discussions on the matter have been censored by the government, and lawyers have been banned to represent the poor investors in order to protect the political stability of the country. What is interesting about the Yilishen Group case is the role the government played in its rise and fall. Questions such as why were the Yilishen Group and its CEO given prestigious awards and government media coverage while operating an illegal business model, and why the Chinese government supported Fengyo just weeks prior to announcing the firm's bankruptcy and illegality, remain unanswered.